What was the next thing that he said about me? Today? Yesterday?
Slam dunk compilations of sex pestiny.
He's still calling me sex pestiny. Like, good one, bro. Yeah, we should definitely work together.
I mean, he has actually issued threats against me in the past, only a month ago, as a matter of fact. And he has aligned himself with neo-Nazis such as Sam Hyde.
Like, this is just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. He might actually be gay, actually, the more that I think about it. I considered this the other day. I wonder if Hasan is gay. One day ago. Let's see what he says the next day about me.
What positive thing do you get out of this? I don't understand. Like, out of all of the progressive commentary circuit right now, in this very moment, and they will come after everyone, right? They'll come after David Pakman. They'll come after Keith Edwards too, eventually. But out of all of the people that are on the left flank of political commentary and independent media, it is obvious that the administration has put the crosshairs on me.
This is one of the reasons why I'm so ass-pained about Fiscal especially, but also other people just literally diarrheaing out their entire brain to jump on defending Hasan here. Like, nobody gives a about you, little bro. No one on the right gives a about you. You are not a threat to the right, and everybody on the right knows it. The fact that they tried to sell that Hasan losing his global entry expedited pass was the admin targeting him is such a joke. Hasan enjoys so much institutional monopoly power on Twitch that for him to be out here basically on the back of his losing global entry status as like the guy being targeted by the admin is such an unbelievable fucking joke to me. It's so irritating that anybody was willing to play into this stupid fucking story.
It is obvious that the administration has put the crosshairs on me. So what good do you think you are doing when in this moment, instead of turning around and being like, hey, maybe we should just focus on the Trump administration doing all this shit to try and actively relitigate something that you misunderstood?
He also does this thing over and over again. The context thing. Oh, actually, there's probably going to be an LSF thread I think I want to go through. Oh, let's see if I can find it again. And then what did he say? What was the next thing that he said about me? Today? Yesterday?
Slam dunk compilations of sex pestiny.
And he's still calling me sex pestiny. Like, good one, bro. Yeah, we should definitely work together. Like, you retarded fuck. It's so annoying, too, because he advocates for violence and everything else and then doesn't own it later on. But he, like, actually wants violence. Like, for real, right? Was bragging with Taylor Lorenz on stage about how, like, oh, well, people were leaving violent voicemails on these congressmen's voicemails, and it was working. You know, they were getting afraid and they were backing off of everything, and they were like, not like afraid as in like they were disavowing political violence. Like, I want people to be afraid of political violence so nobody encourages political violence. He means afraid in that like they were getting bullied out of like being in office.
For the longest time, and you don't fully understand.
Your message is simple, but you don't always get to it concisely. People have already been fed an alternate version of your take. A fast, simple, I didn't say X, I said Y because Z will probably be necessary for just about every convo with brain-rotted college kids. I can do that a little bit. I don't know how many more times I can communicate this. It's not on me at this point. I'm sorry. Like, Trump is not a good communicator. The reason why he comes off that way is because every single person around him will amplify and like make concise and be charitable and give the interpretation of what he's saying. Like, if I give a message and then every single person on the right wants to misinterpret it and then every single person on the left wants to needlessly nitpick at it or endlessly nitpick at it, like my messages are always going to come off as non-concise. But like I said, we watched the Adam Mockler video. Adam Mockler was able to summarize what I said in like 3 or 4 sentences and then move on to the next thing. Very simple, very easy. But if every single person on the left is going to constantly and endlessly and incessantly nitpick and criticize and do whatever, then nothing is ever going to come off as concise. But at this point, I don't give a fuck.
Slam dunk compilations of sex pestiny for the longest time, and you don't fully understand what his worldview is. The easiest summarization of this, of course, is that he just despises me with his entire soul and will go to any length to try to either deplatform me or have me killed. I mean, he has actually issued death threats against me in the past, only a month ago, as a matter of fact. And he has aligned himself with pedophile neo-Nazis such as Sam Hyde when he was doing.
Like, this is just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. I hope fucking, I know it won't happen, but if Dan Clancy got held like personally responsible at that congressional meeting and people started issuing subpoenas and going after him and fucking getting his shit fucked, and same thing with Hasan. Like, it's just crazy to me that he can just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie over and over again about whatever. And then in the next breath, they're like, guys, we need to work together.
Doing his whole, like, I'm going to kill you, Hasan Piker shtick. Again, another pedophile neo-Nazi. He has aligned himself with Nick Fuentes in the past as well.
Like, I've never aligned myself with any of these people, ever. Now, you want to know who has done in a crazy alignment was Hasan and Bad Empanada. That's somebody that he did literally align with. Before and after saying this guy's too crazy, I'm not covering him anymore. He literally aligned himself with that guy.
Openly talking about how he actually gave Nick Fuentes a platform, and how Nick Fuentes, who is also a neo-Nazi and has talked about how he wants to marry 16-year-olds. So make up your own mind on that.
This weird pedo jacketing of everybody, this obsessive thing as well. At this point, maybe Hasan wants to kids. I don't know. Every accusation is a confession, right?
And has gone on dates with cat boys and things of that nature. So, another...
I love how much lore he knows about everybody involved while he pretends that he's like above it all. He's talking about some meme thing that it wasn't Kai, right? Fuentes did some like meme date thing with some catboy guy, but it wasn't real. But
he's a furry neo-Nazi kind of. I don't even understand how that works, but whatever. Just so you understand, the alignment is all over the place. But
is Bad Empanada still relevant anymore? Did he instantly fall away as soon as Hasan stopped pumping his stocks? No, he's not that relevant. He's always there in the background, kind of like a crazy dude. Here's him tweeting, "Damn, that building in the background gives a very clear view of the area." He was also trying to tag like Hamas and Hamas affiliates when me and Lennerbox were in the West Bank too. But base.
Destiny himself also obviously is currently engaging in a legal battle against his numerous victims, some of which he filmed without consent.
It's just one person right now who is miserably fucking losing their case. Anybody can read the court filings.
Some of which he did film with consent in sexual acts, but he distributed that footage to another minor that he was trying to actively have sex with.
Actively. That's his favorite adjective.
That guy, he also hates me. Anyway.
I like it was like at the end of all of this, like 15 different accusations. At the end, it's like, that guy also hates me, by the way.
He has been a major advocate to try and deplatform me for years. He has overtaken major subreddits like Livestream Fails, and has been launching this conquest against me. And despite the fact that he doesn't have like a massive audience or anything, he does have a very loyal following.
It's just kind of wild. Genuine question, what the hell do we do going forward? Feels like these people are incapable of change. There are just some, I don't know, man. Some men in history have huge impact. I think Pence was probably the only thing that kept our country together. I think that if Pence would have been different, I think that Trump would have successfully couped the government in 2020. I don't know who would have stopped him. 2021. I think that Dan Clancy's solo ensures that Hasan has like a strong place on Twitch and maintains a monopoly for him in like a very toxic and destructive way. Oh, what's this?
Anyway, here are some hecklers when he was trying to do this change my mind thing.
Not half as many as you, sir. Oh, your mic's not on, faggot. Hey!
So it's funny because like Hasan had this queued up. He always claims that I'm like amplifying Nazis and shit. But if you followed me throughout my last like big fight with Hasan, I think like a year and a half ago, it seems like we're always fighting. Really, it's just because he constantly makes personal attacks at me. The guy who tweeted this is like a super MAGA far right crazy person, and like Hasan has this one queued up ready to go. Like of any clip that he could have shown from this event, he's got this like fucking MAGA dick suck, ready to show on stream. So also his audience is about as homophobic towards me as any other audiences, but that's because they're epic and base tankies and not loser idpol progressives. So isn't this guy who was posting child porn before Elon unbanned him? Maybe. I don't know anything about that. I've heard that said a lot, but I haven't looked into it at all. Oh, Hasan's dick sucks wound up on this thread. Do you all not know how to differentiate laughs? That was a fuck, I didn't expect that snort. Not, oh, that was funny and I agree. Like, no, that like Hasan explicitly and specifically had this one clip queued and ready to go. Like he knew what this was about in advance, but I saw his fans like showed up here to try to like sweep for him. They aren't even upset about this. So let's be real. They're just mad at Hasan because Hasan. Entire subreddit is so goddamn cringe. Like 90% of the posts that make it popular are just hating on him. I like how some of the largest posts that like were up before I went to this event were literally shitting on me. He's got the biggest like victim complex of anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like for somebody who's gotten so much in life handed to him, for somebody who's like so benefiting of nepotistic inheritance from his uncle, nepotistic inheritance, in terms of media company in place, from his family, from his like, millionaire, multimillionaire family members, dad and mom, from somebody who has like a monopoly insured on Twitch from the CEO, for him to have so much shit given to him to come out and play the victim when nothing bad has like really happened to this guy from me because he's protected by so many different people. Wow, RHEL, thank you for the subs. It's so fucking annoying that he victimizes himself so much. He's such a fucking baby. And then they still play this meme. It's not about that. This is a sub owned by a Hasan hater. The mods ensure that the proper rhetoric gets spread, and that's that. Like, Stale has left up so many threads about me that I have almost... I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? No, I've never even said that because I don't cry to mods or whatever to get shit taken down or unbanned like Hasan and everybody else does. But Hasan chuckles and face palms at someone being absurd. LSF, he enjoys seeing Destiny getting called a faggot. Y'all need therapy. Like, it's just like, it's so transparently stupid. And then like this, LOL, what a reach. This sub is a fucking joke. Yeah, his fans all showed up to try to do reputation rehab for him here. Good one. I've seen it. Tech Tone is just completely brain broken. Wasn't Hasan making jokes about you sucking Fuentes' dick? Yes, Hasan is like still like mega socially like in the frat boy part of his mind. So like misogynistic plus homophobic. He might actually be gay actually, the more that I think about it. I considered this the other day. I wonder if Hasan is gay because it seems like he doesn't do much in terms of like women Playboy stuff on stream ever. I know that he quote unquote dated a porn star and then he makes a lot of really weird gay comments. He seems to obsessively talk about that shit a lot. Like dick sucker or whatever. I've even picked up some of these insults from listening to him on clips and shit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. He might be. I also hate listening to this guy complain about every corporation is instantly folding to the admin. Even when it's over an utterly inoffensive joke the admin doesn't like. Liberals need to wake up. Excuse me? Liberals need to wake up? Liberals have been saying the whole time that this admin was going to be a fucking terror. You were the one saying constantly that it was going to be just like Kamala Harris, that Kamala and Trump would have been more or less the same thing. What do you mean liberals need to wake up? We all have to fight back. My God.
And let's be real about this. It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States. It's totally crazy. Joe Biden, if that were the case, Joe Biden should not be running for president. Hey, Joe Biden is 81 years old. The retirement age in the United States, at which you start to receive Social Security and you are eligible for Medicare, is 65. Joe Biden has technically been eligible for Social Security and Medicare for 16 years, and he wants to continue in office until he is 86, which is 19 years, past when he would be eligible for retirement. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years. And if you talk to people who are elderly and they lose their purpose in life by losing their job and they stop working, things go to hell in a handbasket real quick. But put all of that aside, just on a fiscal level and on a logical level. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt established 65 as the retirement age, the average life expectancy in the United States was 63 years old.
Destiny, someone has greenlit your removal. They are flipping people within your community to get you. Don't trust these people. What are you talking about? Jesus, are you okay, buddy?
Today, the average life expectancy in the United States is close to 80. It's totally insane that you believe that you should be able to work from the time that you are essentially 20 to the time that you are 65, which is a 45-year period, pay in, and then you will receive Social Security benefits sufficient to support you and your family, you and your wife or whatever, for like another 20 years. That's crazy talk. That is not fiscally sustainable. The notion that if you have to raise the retirement age to 67 or 68, that everyone is going to fall apart. My parents are that age. My parents are not retired. And they shouldn't retire. It would be very bad for them to retire. By the way, it's disrespectful to people who are 67, 68, 69 years old to suggest that they are in the same shape as people who are 65 were in 1940. It's not true at all. Have you met a 65-year-old lately? 65?
This is a mega unpopular take, but this might be the correct take, unfortunately. It's hard to know if it is sustainable if as the lifespan continues, let's say theoretically, let's say the average person lived to 100. Could we sustain retirement at 65? Probably not, right? And the average lifespan has increased quite a bit. I don't know how sustainable it is if everybody stopped working at 65. It's hard to say. The problem is old people consume so many resources in our society between owning multiple homes, between Social Security payouts and not working, between their healthcare consumption is massive. They almost consume 2x as much healthcare, I think, as they are as a proportion of the population. But that's a hard one.
5-year-olds are not old in the United States. They're not. 68-year-olds are not old in the United States. Again, Joe Biden thinks he's not old, and that dude is running for president again, and that dude actually is old, and he's 81. I fail to see how a country in which our entire leadership class is 80 plus is telling you that we should have a retirement age of 65. It makes no sense at all.
Do you think there's a prisoner's dilemma between you and other left creators, like socialists or like liberals? Between liberals, I don't think so. I've supported and grown so many fucking careers, even of like socialists and shit. I have no problem doing that. But now if you're like a socialist and you literally want liberalism to fail, then I mean, yeah, maybe we're in like a weird battle where we don't have the same goals. What is this? Destiny nukes any potential Sun Bridge. Says Trump taking action on Leftist would be a godsend. Also says Piker's controlled opposition. He is, and that's true. This is very stupid. When fascists are coming to power, leftists being attacked is not a godsend for liberals. You can see how well that panned out in Germany in World War II. The fighting between the communists and the Social Democrats is one of the main reasons Hitler came to power. It's just a lie. This line got repeated so much on BreadTube and lefty communities. It's just totally divorced from history. It's just not true. It's that whole like liberals always give way to fascists. It's just absolutely not true. The SPD was completely and totally 100% unified in their opposition to the Nazi Party, like they always were. Well, not maybe always, but like when it came time to when they were like becoming like a political movement, I don't know, at the very, 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 very beginning. I mean, they were generally opposed to any of the illiberal people, but the solution is to find solidarity in a common enemy and put differences aside, at least temporarily. The funny thing is what he's describing right now, this is what the KPD and the Nazi Party did. They found solidarity in a common enemy, the liberals, the SPD, and they put differences aside to fight. But then once the Nazis started to gain power, was it the Reichstag fire, I think, is where a fire started. I don't know if people agree necessarily where it came from, but I think the Nazis like capitalized on that to say, oh, that was the commies, and then fucking got all of them out of, I think they arrested almost all of them, right? There were 4 ones that were arrested, 1 was executed. I reject the leftist and liberal fighting. No more online political figures using their egos to drive people apart. Like, it's not an ego battle, it's an ideological battle. It was a commie that did it. Do people agree that it was I wish I could remember the name of the guy. That is that the historical consensus? I don't know if they figured it out 100% who did it, but there was consensus around one figure. I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure that Hitler capitalized on that and used it as an opportunity to ditch to get the communists kicked out of the Reichstag, the parliament. What did they call it? The problem is that the SPD and KPD weren't infighting. The KPD wanted liberal democracy to fall just as much as the Nazis did. True. If you can't even meet the bare minimum of supporting the party opposing the fascists, how exactly are you in? The German October, even on April 1st, 1933, an appropriately symbolic date for such a proclamation, the Executive Committee of the Comintern resolved, despite the fascist terror, the revolutionary upturn in Germany will inexorably grow. The masses' defense against fascism will inexorably grow. The establishment of an openly fascist dictatorship, which has shattered every democratic illusion in the masses and is liberating the masses from the influence of the Social Democrats, is accelerating the tempo of Germany's development towards a proletarian revolution. I think that the feeling was still throughout Europe, like if you saw what happened with the, is it with the Tsar? Is that what the name of the family was in the Soviet, or not in the Soviet, in the Russian Empire? But when that monarch fell to Lenin, people had this thought that all across Europe, everybody was on the verge of this proletariat revolution. It was basically an inevitability that the contradictions of capital and all that bullshit would lead to there being like these socialist uprisings across all of Europe, and it would just happen. Even if the Nazis were to take over, whatever, as long as the Liberal Party was knocked down, the capitalists were gone, eventually there would be these proletariat revolutions everywhere. The relative inaction of the communists reflected above all the party leadership's belief that the new government, the last violent dying gasp of a moribund capitalism, would not last more than a few months before it collapsed. Aware of the risk that the party might be banned, the German communists had made extensive preparations for a lengthy period of illegal or semi-legal existence and no doubt stockpiled as substantial a quantity of weapons as they were able. They knew, too, that the Red Front Fighters League would get no support from the Social Democrats' paramilitary associate, the Reichsbanner, with which it had clashed repeatedly over the previous years. The party's constantly reiterated demands for a unity front with the Social Democrats stood no chance of becoming reality, since it was only willing to enter into it if the social fascists, as it called them, gave up all their political independence and, in effect, put themselves under Communist Party leadership. The party stuck rigidly to the doctrine that the Hitler government signaled the temporary triumph of big business and monopoly capitalism and insisted that it heralded the imminent arrival of the German October. Even on April 1st, 1933, no, this is the quote that this came from, under the weight of its internal contradictions, and the Hitler government would collapse under the weight of its internal contradictions, to be followed immediately by the victory of Bolshevism in Germany. Communist inaction, therefore, was the product of communist overconfidence and the fatal illusion that the new situation posed no overwhelming threat to the party.